And we are finally back after quite an elongated break. There was an intense TvT going on. There were ravens and tanks and BCs and siege lines. And thankfully, we weren't a part of any of that.
Yes, we got to skip the TvT and go straight to the fun matchup, PvT. This is the matchup we've all been waiting for, and I'm very excited to see what these two players bring to this game and this series.
Exactly, as here we are finally in another series in a qualifying match, a best of 5. Oh my god, and spawning in the top right hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, we have the American Protoss player representing Team License to Kill. It is RockEr.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, also representing License to Kill, give it up to the red Terran player. It is Smoked Salmon. Also known as Zero, but, no, it's not Zero, sorry. My mistake, it's Binski.
There you go, there you go.
Caught myself.
A very interesting ID, by the way, to ladder on. Smoked salmon. Okay.
I mean, it's pretty good food, so, like, what's not to love?
True. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I can't deny that. Do you like smoked salmon more than, like, sushi salmon, though, you know?
I think it depends on the mood. Because, like, sometimes I just am sort of in the mood for some, like, smoked salmon or something, and sometimes I'm like, you know, I really want sushi today. So it kind of, I guess it depends just a little bit, but, you know, not overly so.
Okay, fair enough. Meanwhile, something that I was just setting up here, because I almost forgot, it's something I should have set up during the break, but people in the chat, you have a couple of minutes to place your bets on who will qualify, which one of these two players will take the entire series.
Yeah, personally, I guess if I have to make a prediction, I'm gonna be betting on RockEr, but it's good. It's still, you know, I think a very, very fun one.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, we're a little bit biased because we've been following RockEr all day today. You know, we've seen how impressive he is. We even got to see him the other day previously, and we're relatively new to covering and seeing this player here, Binski. You know, we're not too familiar with him. And, I mean, mate, he took down Zero, so I'm ready to be impressed.
And I'm very excited to see exactly what he has in store. And just for now, it's looking to be a very standard, run-of-the-mill TvP so far, with a bunker on the low ground, quick expansion, a factory. And now, the real question is he going to make a couple Hellions, or is he going to go straight to Marine production? It just kind of depends on the player. We do have this Reaper getting in for a nice scout. However, there's nothing to be scouted just yet, so...
Yeah, very interesting that the tech has been delayed a little bit. I mean, the Reaper gets in, does get sniped, and now whatever RockEr throws down, Smoked Salmon is going to have a bit of a hard time keeping an eye on, as we see we do have some Hellions coming out. Ooh.
Yes, I really like this out of RockEr. He's going for that very fast third base here, and, that is a very fast armory.
Oh my god. It's crazy. There we go. I was like, is he just going to keep pumping out Hellions? No, he's not that crazy. But he is committing a little bit more to this Widowmine drop.
Yeah, this Widowmine drop is going to be very interesting. However, I believe it's a hallucination going across the map, but with the wall for RockEr, these Hellions are going to be bounced away and forced to see that third base. But does that Haluk, it sees the armory.
Yeah, even goes back to double check. He does see the armory. Immediately we have a robo on the way, and we should have detection at home.
Yes. However, these Widowmines are already across the map, and that detection is a little bit away. So for at least a very short while, these Widowmines will be annoying to deal with. However, eventually, once the observers come out, the Widowmines will get cleaned up, I assume anyways.
Yeah.
It kind of depends on, you know, how on top of the probe micro RockEr is for how much damage these do.
Yeah, I mean, there should be some units in position, question mark. The hallucination was following this medevac like halfway across the map. Unfortunately, the entire army is here at the natural, not into the main base, so the Widowmines will drop and they will burrow.
Yeah, we do have that first Widow Mine burrowed. Ooh, but this medevac is forced to unload on the high ground, that Widow Mine, and it is going to try and get set up towards that low ground, but
Ooh.
maybe. A lot of mining time denied here.
Oh yeah, a lot of mining time indeed. Meanwhile, the Observer does come out, so the first Widow Mine will be dealt with. Meanwhile, the second one still hasn't used its shots. And, oh, at the same time, oh my god, the probes! Oh my god!
Really amazing to do this run by here. 15 probes, what?
Like, this is crazy. He even forces a recall on the probes.
17 probes just went down. What just happened?
Oh my god, RockEr, he was just a little bit too preoccupied, just completely tunnel visioning onto the Widow Mines, and out of left field come in those two Hellions from earlier. 19!
19 probes go down. Like, I feel like we might have backed the wrong horse here. Because RockEr's in a little bit of trouble.
He's
not
stopping!
I'd say a fair amount. The Widow Mine drops don't stop. Luckily this time they don't do anything in the main base, but in the natural, oh, there's a stalker in the natural. It looks like that Widow Mine will go down, and RockEr, he's dealt with it for now, but that was a lot of probes going down very early. A 12 worker deficit for RockEr. He has to do some catching up.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was nice for RockEr to finally deal with these two Widow Mines and clean them up without them dealing any damage, but I mean, those 19 probe kills still well worth everything here. Jesus Christ, so some beautiful aggression by Smoked Salmon. Part of me feels like he probably didn't even think those Hellions would deal that much damage. It was crazy. But
that
what
was insane.
Oh my god.
Like, if you had asked me at the start of this game, like, do I think 19 probes will go down? Like, I would have said no, probably not. Like, maybe a bit closer to like 8 or 10, because he's going for like a armor or a quick armory in that Widow Mine drop. But like, 19 probes, man.
Yeah, I mean, RockEr, he's still trying to recover. He's still making more workers. Meanwhile, he's taking up into some splash damage. We do have a Robotics Bay on the way for Colossus or either Disruptor. Ooh, shield batteries are not ready, and the army is coming in now.
The army is here. It stims forward, but really nice force fields to buy time. However, the medevac does pick up and just let Protoss buy more time, and RockEr has to get these shield batteries up. If he's able to stall until the shield batteries are up, I feel like he'll be in a good position.
Oh yeah,
is
definitely.
He able to stall though?
That's the question. Meanwhile, we do have two Widow Mines here in the middle of the army, ready to pop off as soon as they can, but they just can't barely. Meanwhile, shield battery does finish, and an overcharge is available.
Yeah, but the Widow Mines. Oh, they kill the sentries. Sentries going down is really bad. And RockEr is running out of army here. There's another warp from the Zealots, and that super battery is doing good, but oh, more Widow Mines killing the Zealots. I don't know about this one, Mike.
Yeah, exactly. Smoked Salmon, he's pushing on through. Sure, the overcharge is doing work, but you know what? Overcharge just ran out. There are barely any gateway units left. These Widow Mines are going to reset as well. Looks like some of them were barely in range of the cannon to provide some detection here. Smoked Salmon, he's just rallying across the map. He wants to try and end the game here and now.
Yeah, and the cannon went down, so no more detection. There are more Widow Mines being burrowed, and these Widow Mines have reset once again, and only one goes off. So with 3 Widow Mines left, I'm very worried here for RockEr. I'm not sure if he can hold.
Exactly. I mean, these force fields are godlike from RockEr. Like, he's just barely surviving with them, but the reinforcements, they just keep on coming. The shield batteries are out of energy. The sentries are going down. Detection is finally coming in, but the Widow Mine shots are going off, and mate, he's doing it!
Yeah, the detection got killed. The Observer died to a Widow Mine shot, and now with the army completely dead, that is so many Widow Mines. And yeah, these units are stimmed, but they're not like super stimmed, and that is probes going down. Oh, and you never want to be transferring through a Terran army, especially one with stim. GG gets called, and Smoked Salmon, he takes game 1.
Wow. Wow, what a crazy game. Suddenly, out of nowhere, the Terran contender comes out and takes the lead.
Really well done by Smoked Salmon. It was a rather quick, aggressive opener. He decided to put on pressure right from the get-go, and the multitask, just out of left field, those 2 Hellions absolutely ravaged a whole mineral line.
Yeah, it's like, mate, you think you're worried about my Widow Mines with the armory? Nah, mate, it was the first 2 Hellions in the beginning of the game. That's crazy. MVP Hellions. Well played, Smoked Salmon. salmon. Binski even, and we'll see what happens here in game number 2. Before we get too ahead of ourselves, I do want to give a bit of a shout out to Super Marmota #1. Thank you so much for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Hope you enjoy your ducks, and I hope you enjoy the cast.
Yeah, really, what a game one. What a way to start this series. I'm very curious how these next couple games will go, because now RockEr has to be worried, like, oh, he's down a game, so has to play a bit. He has to keep that in mind. He can't play, like, super risky builds, I guess. And especially on Oxide, I feel like the map that we're on now, RockEr kind of would want to be playing something super risky. But before I get too into it, we should probably introduce these players.
Oh, we probably should. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the Protoss player who is currently down 0-1 in this best of 5. But don't fret, it's still best of 5. He still has room to come back. Representing Team License to Kill, it is RockEr.
And the upper right-hand corner, he's playing Terran. He's representing License to Kill. He's in the red. Give it up for Smoked Salmon. Also known as Binski, of course. And this time, it looks to be a fairly normal opener again. But are we going to see a quick armory once again? I really like that for game 1.
Yeah, like it did come into play, maybe not in terms of the harassment, but when it came to the aggression, when it came to that push across the map, it really did kind of keep momentum on the side of our Terran player. Oh my god, I'm still trying to recover from that game, by the way. It was too much.
You know, that game was very intense. It was just, I feel like it was very quick. Like, just suddenly, it was fairly even, then suddenly one player was very much ahead. And with, like, those Widowmine drops and, like, the Hellion run bys, I feel like that can happen. So RockEr, just this game, he has to be on top of things. He has to make sure that he doesn't die to anything, like, too cheeky, and you know, hopefully he can deal some damage on the other side of the map as well.
Yeah, definitely. Also, I would also ask the chat as well, you know, maybe Maples, maybe some of these other players who are more familiar with License to Kill, you know, whether or not these players, are they just on the team together? Do they have practice sessions together? Do they do customs together? Are they familiar with each other? Like, because that can also come into play. Bearing in mind these guys are teammates, you know, so it's possible that some weird mind games could come into play. Is there some rivalry going on? I'm just, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the things you do have to keep in mind when you're on the same clan or the same team as a player, is how often do you practice together and how many levels down do the mind games go? Because the more familiar you are with the player, the more in-depth the mind games get. But that's an interesting proposition. What are you doing out there, little guy?
Yeah, he's out there just chilling out, you know, just, you know, hoping to maybe squeeze out a cheeky third base. Oh my god, incredibly fast. Yeah, just your typical, you know, gate expand third base.
Yeah, wow. Let's just get like one sentry and then a third base. It's perfectly normal. What's the worst that could happen? Like we have 2 sentries now. Excuse me, sorry. The 2 sentry third base, perfectly timed. What's not to love? Like, what could kill this, really?
That's insane. Oh my god, just the greed from RockEr is crazy. We do see Smoke Salmon pushing out across that with these Marines, and there isn't much to protect this third. Oh no.
There is not. You know, I don't think the 3 sentries are quite gonna cut it. But with only 5 Marines and a Hellion, maybe like a Zealot or something will get warped in.
Oh, maybe. Meanwhile, he does barely see that third base, but he doesn't care about the third. He wants to go for the kill, mate. Oh my god.
Really nice force field to get the Marines out, but the Hellion's really the main thing I'd be concerned about, and it is going to get a couple of probe kills here. 3 so far, but finally clean up. Now the Marines, they're moving in, and 4 sentries aren't able really to contest 5 Marines.
Yeah, exactly. The sentries are being focused down. They made it through the wall, so force fields are not going to keep them out. Probes are forced to be pulled. Workers are going down left or right. Not just workers, but maybe even some more sentries. No, he just focus files the probe. Oh my god.
And probes down before all is said and done. However, keep in mind, RockEr does have that third base already finished. He is making probes 3 at a time, chronoing them out, and he just has to not die. If he can survive this upcoming like tank drop, I feel like he'll be in a great spot here.
I just don't know if he cannot die. That's the problem. It sounds easier said than done, mate, because Smoke Salmon, he's coming across the map, not just with those tanks, but with a couple of SCVs as well.
Yeah, moving in to this third base here, I'd love to see a couple of depots go down here. With that tank being sieged up and depots going down, man, I'm worried this third base might be forfeit.
Yeah, I was worried that earlier maybe Smoke Salmon missed his opportunity to get the third base because he went maybe a little bit too greedily into the natural, but with this follow-up tank push, like, he's set up, he's ready to go, bunkers on the way. We do have somewhat of an army, I suppose, but oh god, we'll see if the bunker finishes. It looks like it may not, as Zelson trying to get on top of the tank.
Yeah, and that tank is doing a lot of damage, but there's a second tank in the back just not doing anything. The first tank goes down, but that bunker is up, and the medevac also going down. With only one tank and a couple of Marines, maybe he can fight this force, but tanks do a lot of DPS, and that is also a fair amount of Marines.
That it is. Looks like the tank will just barely survive. There are 2 Marines remaining, but these are going to get cleaned up, even though 2 bunkers are about to finish up. Is it going to be enough here? The Banshee comes in clutch. Ooh, the tank does get sniped, though.
Yeah, but those stalkers are all dead, and really he's down to 1 stalker and like a barely started shield battery. I don't know if that's enough to fight a whole Banshee, especially when he's warping in Zealots. I mean, I don't know, like, this makes me nervous. And he's even muling the bunker.
The mule of the bunker, let's go! The bunker's gonna be repaired, it's gonna be no longer on fire. This one that was in the middle of building looks like will go down, but in come the rallying reinforcements, the aggression of Smoke Salmon, just like in game number 1, it just doesn't stop. He's not giving RockEr enough time to breathe, and the shield battery isn't powered!
Yeah, no, he focused down the pylon, and it was very late getting a second pylon up and running on that shield battery. It's finishing up now, but with 2 bunkers and the Banshee, I don't think the overcharge is going to be enough, because like, what really shoots up here?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, like, that was a lot of time spent not with overcharge helping the stalkers, and with another tank and that second bunker still, I'm really worried here for RockEr.
Exactly, at least RockEr was able to deal with 1 bunker in the Banshee, but there we go, the Nexus will go down. We only have a couple of Stalkers remaining, Overcharge won't be available either. Smoke Salmon, will he try and achieve more here? Ooh, RockEr wants to try and break this position.
And the Immortal does a great job cleaning up that tank. However, there's just so many Marines, and with the third base already dead, and the third base being built here for Smoke Salmon, I'm very worried for RockEr's future in this game. He's down on workers, he's down on army, and he does have a small, like, some amount of tech with like upgrades and Immortals and Warp Prisms able to help him out, but I don't know about this one. Like, I'm a bit worried here for our boy RockEr.
Yeah, this was a great start for Smoke Salmon. The one thing that I love from RockEr, and he realizes that he needs to do something crazy, we have a Dark Shrine on the way. Dark Shrine, when behind Dark Shrine, this is what he needs to get back into this game. Is it going to be enough? So far, it has gone unscattered, so maybe he can get into a mineral line, maybe he can get some damage done.
Yes, hopefully, because he needs something here to come back. And there's this Warp Prism. Maybe able to warp in a little bit, but scanning the army shows that you don't got a whole lot here for RockEr. And this army is coming once again. I feel like DTs might need to be warped in at home to keep him alive.
Very true. Defensive DTs are going to be important as well, just because we just saw a scan wasted across the map, so the amount of energy available is going to be a little bit limited to Smoke Salmon, so especially if you trickle in the DTs, you can hold on, but here we go, the tanks have sieged up. The Dark Shrine is still not done, it's only just now about to finish up.
Yeah, and the shield battery gets focused down, GG gets called, and 2-0. Smoke Salmon, he is crushing it.
Mate, he's smoking his opponents, mate. It's crazy. Oh my god.
That RockEr being wrapped in tinfoil here. Let's see if he can cook anything up here to maybe start his comeback. But, I'm worried. Like, that's definitely not a great start. It's not what you wanted to hear.
Yeah, like, to be fair, the way this game worked out, it was RockEr being punished. Like, he went for a very, very fast third base, very greedy third base. He was relying on only sentries to defend, missed the force field, an opportunity to force field, to force field, I should say, and yeah, he was punished for his build there.
Exactly. But we are loading into game number 3. It is a bit of a bigger map in Romanticide, and so I feel like this time, sorry, excuse me, I feel like this time RockEr has a pretty good chance to like halt any aggression at the top of the ramps, and as long as he can just keep everything together, I feel like he can start his comeback. But he has to focus up. He has to tighten down the hatches and really, really go for the win.
Definitely. Oh boy, we'll see if he can pull it off, because it is all or nothing for this player here in the top left-hand corner of Romanticide LE. It's the American Protoss representing Team License to Kill up against the wall. He needs to win this game or he is out of the last qualifier for DreamHack North America. It is RockEr.
In the bottom right-hand corner, give it up for the player. He's in the red. He's up 2-0. He's playing for License to Kill. This is Smoked Salmon.
Jesus Christ. I don't know what to expect here. RockEr, okay, being a little bit sneaky with this. Oh my god!
Is he max paxing? Is that what's going on here? Like, are we just gonna see just another gateway go down? I would absolutely love RockEr to be like, I'm loving this aggression. Like, he's down a little bit. He's like, yeah, I'm down 2-0, but I'm gonna do something off the wall that you don't expect. Because a lot of players, when they're losing series, they just want like to get a good game in.
Yeah.
Don't necessarily need that like massive macro game. They really kind of want that. He's going for the win. He's going all out.
Oh, he's gonna get scared. Oh, he got scouted. Smoked Salmon, he knows. He sees.
Oh no, that is not. He gets a wall of 2 Smoked Salmon. Oof.
Yeah. So a lot's going on here. One, Smoked Salmon, he is going to be NG blocking the natural base, so RockEr attempting to transition is going to be so difficult. Meanwhile, it just feels like Smoked Salmon, he just has such a read on anything and everything that RockEr's trying to do in every single one of these games, forces RockEr to take the unnatural natural.
Yeah, and that eBay wasn't completed, so he is able to cancel it if need be. It's like almost done though. And Stalker's on the way. A second pylon goes up, but the probe goes down. Oh no.
Oh no, indeed, this second pylon is going to be going down as well. The Stalker is being chronoed out, and it looks like it just barely will pop out in time to protect said pylon. Is he still going to commit to this, by the way? He cancels the pylon anyway. At least he's getting some damage done with his Stalker, at least.
He does force a bunker, and he forces Smoked Salmon to play on that one base. With the bunker getting up, I feel like RockEr's opportunity to deal lots of damage here is definitely falling. Although building the extra units and just sort of getting a bit of a weird game is definitely a good strategy by RockEr to just try and get something done.
Yeah, I just hope he's not too greedy. I say that because we got a Widowmine drop that's going to be on the way soon. Starport's about to finish up. We're going to see some more Widowmines. Oh, maybe I could be speaking too soon here. Are we going to see a tech switch here? An add-on switch, I should say. Oh, no, never mind. So we are going to be seeing a bit of a drop. Not going to be a super committed drop, though. So, yeah, a very awkward game.
Yeah, definitely an awkward game that eBay was finally canceled, and I feel like with the tank and like some Marines and that Widowmine, Smoked Salmon's just gonna try and go for like one big push when all of his units are done, and then once he moves out, maybe he'll expand behind it. Yeah. But he is definitely building up a pretty big army here, and Smoked Salmon needs I feel like needs to do something because RockEr is building an economy. He's on 2 bases.
Exactly, like RockEr's focusing on his tech, you know, he's got a Robo on the way, he's got a Twilight Council on the way, he's focusing on his probes when his opponent is making nothing but army. Ooh, the medevac does move out, but it does get spotted by RockEr.
Oh, I absolutely love this out of RockEr. He sees that the medevac is going down, or is going across the map, and he is immediately running home with those stalkers. He's getting every single unit that he can together to try and counteract that medevac.
Yeah, that he is. He's trying to chase that down as best as he can. We already have some units ready and waiting in that actual base, and he does intercept the medevac, does force it back. Oh, oh, oh.
Really nicely done by RockEr. Great movement to just keep the medevac zoned out and buy him even more time. He's got charge on the way, and expansion is finally going down, but that is a very, very late second base out of Smoke Salmon.
Exactly. Even though I imagine his proxy gateway didn't do what he really wanted it to accomplish, he's still in a very good position here, economically, tech-wise, in every single which way. Smoke Salmon, he's not out of it yet, though. Like, he still has a very large army, as we were pointing out before. Oh my god, he's spawning boys again. Like, this push has to do something.
This push definitely has to do something. I feel like RockEr is sort of in the driver's seat. He just needs to, like, once again, he needs to not die here. And I feel like a quick pull of the boys, because I feel like he has a decent army to try and deal with this, but he just needs to not let RockEr Smoke Salmon get set up for this. And,
Exactly.
oh no, the bunkers start to get built.
Yep, the bunkers are on the way. Tanks do siege up. We're gonna have to see some boys being pulled. To be fair, RockEr can afford to lose some probes right now. At the same time, we have a drop into the main base.
Oh no, but he is trying to get through. The Zealots are doing a good job of tanking the fire from the siege tanks, but he's just starting to run out of Zealots, and I just feel like the army isn't quite able to be big enough to deal with the two attacks at once. RockEr, he did get a good decent army, but it wasn't quite good enough as at least to do with both at once. But the probes are pulled. They're on the siege tanks, but oh man, GG.
It was just a little bit too late. I thought things were looking good here for RockEr. I thought it was going to be okay. I thought he was maybe going to be able to hold against the push, but no, he could not. Smoke Salmon, aka Binski, takes the entire series 3-0.
Yeah, really well done there by Binski. He is absolutely crushing it this series. It just unfortunately RockEr just wasn't quite able to bring any of the games just quite together. He was always so close, but just never quite had all the tools in his tool belt. Really well done by Binski though. Just absolutely great play, but I feel for RockEr because I feel like if he just was a little bit different here or there, he easily could have taken that series.
Yeah, there were like a couple of missteps, maybe a couple of, I don't know, some missed calls as well, especially in that defense in game number 3, because he was in a great position there to at least elongate the game and get into a more mid-game scenario, which I'm sure he's comfortable in, right? Like,
Exactly.
he just never got to that stage of the game, even though we had to wait so long. This was a quick series.
Yeah, very, very short series here. But it was very fun. Unfortunate about the 3-0, but it was still excellent. It was still a good series to watch. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. Meanwhile, shout out to Maples and the other License to Kill boys in the chat. They were confirming that, yes, they practice quite often. They just had an in-house tournament, and these two players are good friends. And I feel like it makes sense. It feels like Smoke Salmon, he really had a good read on how RockEr played. Just period, like his builds and his openers, like maybe they're map dependent, and like, yeah, it was just crazy how he just shut it all down. Just, wow.